Hey, anybody watching? If anybody's watching, I'm eating a cookie in preparation for the net. What I get for eating late.
KD4, BQK. Well, hello, Marty. Hello, Michael. You getting ready for the net? Sure enough. Me too. I just now got it pulled up on the computer.
I see you, Michael. Enjoy watching me chew. It's not 8 o'clock yet. It will be in a few seconds, I think. Here we go. Good evening is the frequency in use. When I hear the whistling stopping on Andy Griffith's show, that's how I know to start the net. No answer on is a frequency in use. Try that again. I was slightly off frequency. Anyway, this is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Minor adjustment to the radio. No, we have priority traffic, and that may be broken anytime for priority or emergency traffic, or call 911 first. Best chance you're going to get for somebody to immediately help. We can help if you need us to, but as you know, no moving bodies or furniture. We normally meet, first of all, the information on the net. You can see us on our website, 146415.net, 146415.net. Pretty easy to remember. Same as the frequency without that one decimal. You can also reach us on Yahoo Groups, which is MJ_SS, stands for Mike Juliet _Sierra Sierra. And or you can reach me at K4PEW@ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And we conduct the net on, of course, 146.415.net. Yeah, 146.415. FM Simplex. Purpose of the net is to help train and support ham radio operators in the event of an emergency, which we hope will never take place, but we shall be prepared. We invite everyone to use the net for amateur radio events, activities, and resources and training and support of the local community. Does anybody have any announcements? No announcements. Well, tomorrow night is the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's net, which is on 147.105, 147.105, and it is up. It was down for a couple of days or a day or so, but it's a plus offset and a tone of 156.7. Any other announcements or clarifications on that? Well, we got the 26th coming up, which is today's the 16th. So 10 days from now is the Winter Field Day, Wilson County Fairgrounds, and the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club is sponsoring it there. And it will be indoors, which will be a great help if it's cool or rainy weather. Antennas will be outdoor, but whoever shows up will be indoor. And if you need any information on that, give me a buzz, and I'll be sending out a reminder on that too on the mail list. If we don't have any other check-ins, or not check-ins, but we don't have any other announcements or questions or clarifications, we're going to proceed. Is there any questions? Nothing heard, and then we'll start with check-ins. We start from the south tonight. I got part of a cookie in my mouth. For those of you who can see me on the web, somehow I disabled the chat messages, so that's, I guess it's deleted because I don't see it. So I don't know how I did that. I'll figure it out next time. We don't need no stinking chat on a Simplex Net. All right, well, we'll start from the south. Who is south of I-40? Please come now.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Hello, Larry. Sound good? Doing all right?
All right, man. I made it first.
I know, man. That's like, well, not never, but usually you're kind enough to see if other people will check in.
I was in a rush tonight, Paul, so I'll let you get on with it. KU4 SYB.
All right. Hope we don't have, well, I kind of do, but we had 31 last time, and we may, I don't know what we're doing tonight, but doesn't matter. All right, Larry. Good to have you. That's Larry, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. He's in Rockvale. Who else south of 40?
Alpha Charlie 4 Sierra K4 QPR Russell Laverne.
All right, hold on, Russell. I heard AC4. What was the rest of that?
Alpha Charlie 4 Sierra Romeo Scott in Smyrna.
All right. Sorry about that, Scott. Again, I'm getting it jumbled when I get two calls at the same. It is Alpha Charlie 4 Sierra Romeo, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. How you doing, Scott?
Doing well. Kind of tired of winter, but I mean, it is like, middle of January, so got a few more weeks to endure.
Yeah. It's just like when I lived in Florida and when I live here. Excuse me, I still have a cookie in my mouth. Is that you learn to put up with the bad stuff just to get to the good stuff. And it's really in Tennessee, the winters are mild enough that it's not too bad.
Oh, amen, brother. Really can't complain at all. So, don't get much snow down here anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Hang around. It'll probably snow tomorrow.
Well, they're calling for it, so at least I think Sunday. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I don't put a whole lot of weight on of information on any of the weather people. If I wake up in the morning, I look outside, there's snow or it's snowing, that's when I know it's going to snow.
Yes, the good old weather rock. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it, Paul. Good to talk to you. I hadn't checked in here in a few weeks, so all is well on this end. No complaints. AC4SR 73. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, very good. I wasn't looking at the meter, but you have a real fine audio signal coming out of Laverne there, Scott. And what was that called? That was Russell. What's your full call again, Russell? Is it Whiskey 4 Quebec Papa Romeo?
Kilo 4.
See what I get for thinking. Sorry about that, Russell. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I don't hear Scott on my end, probably because I got only that J-pole in the attic.
Yeah, that's two strikes against good reception. I've been there, done that. J-pole in the it seems great. The reason it's great, the biggest reason an antenna attic is great, is it's not in the weather and it's serviceable without going outside on the roof. But it's terrible for reception, particularly a J-pole or a ground plane, like a quarter wave or 5/8 wave ground plane in the attic. It's getting like in my case, I stuck it up there, not even thinking about the metallic finished, the foil insulation on each end of the roof. So it kind of screwed things up.
Understood. This is even one of the roll-ups, if that takes anything away from it.
Well, actually, you sound good to me. Here you sound fine. And I'm trying to think, you're in Murfreesboro, is that correct?
In Laverne.
Oh, it's also Laverne. I wasn't remembering that. But you weren't here in Scott, though, huh?
Yeah, that I couldn't understand.
Well, you are full scale to me here from your little J-pole in the attic. So that's, of course, Laverne isn't terribly, difficult for me to hear, but you're doing great from an attic antenna. But hold on, Scott, are you still there?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I can hear Russell fine.
Aha. Okay, so you can hear him fine. And what are you running over there for an antenna? I don't recall.
Well, I'm in Smyrna, actually, almost to the Murfreesboro line, and I have a Diamond X30, the dual band antenna, and it is outside, and it's up about 30 feet, give or take, and I'm only running 5 watts, though.
Ah, running 5 watts. That's probably the reason there, Russell. He's running 5 watts on a pretty decent antenna outside, and you're inside with an antenna that's going to have tough with 5 watts, and he's actually in Smyrna, so that's a little bit of a distance from you. Make sense, Russell?
We'll upgrade to a rig at some point.
Oh no slurs or no demerits for having what you got. I mean, I had when I first started, all I had was a 5 watt handheld, and trying to remember. Oh, I think I had a roll up J pole as well. That's what I was using, and so I was happy with that. And then I went to a J pole and a regular J pole, and then went outside. And yeah, it's just nothing happens all at once, especially if you don't have a lot of cash laying around.
For QPROs, understand cash very well. The problem is, the other thing is, I don't see any antennas around here, so I'm not sure where these hams are.
You'll have to look. You know how to find hams on the QRZ site, right, on their map?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's the easiest way to look, but not everybody's got an outside antenna that you can even see. I mean, sometimes it's a little tough if it's behind trees or bushes, or you know what I'm getting at.
Sure do.
All right, Russell, but you sound great here. That's Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo Russell. He's in Laverne, and prior to that was Alpha Charlie 4 Sierra Romeo Scott in Smyrna, and both good signals. Who else saw the 40?
It ain't PPY.
Hello, Rusty. How are you doing this evening?
Good. Oh, you doing all right?
I'm doing fantastic. I was just telling somebody earlier this evening, that they asked me how my mom was doing. I said, well, she's a blessed woman in spite of the fact that she's very sick. And I say she's blessed because she's one of those people that always has a good attitude. Her dad even said it when she was a kid. My mother told me this. Her dad called her Pollyanna as just as a cute phrase. That wasn't her name's Doris, but he called her a Pollyanna because she always has a good attitude. She never holds grudges. She always says nice things about people. It's disgusting.
Yeah. The happy ones. Well, we should all try to maintain a good attitude.
Well, no, it's and what's interesting about all of that is, in spite of her several deficiencies in health, and they're quite severe, she can't even walk 20 feet without, well, maybe not even 20, without being really winded and tired. She just has a lot of problems. But in spite of that, she doesn't complain. She doesn't have any pain. She's not feeling sick necessarily. She's just very tired and lethargic. And in spite of all of that, she's still, she hates to ask for things. She's very polite. It's just, it's not, we joke about it. My wife and I do. She's not the woman from Throw Mama from the Train.
Well, you are very blessed.
Oh yeah, more ways than one. She's still here, and she'll be 91 next month. And we've got my wife's mother, who's 95. She's having her birthday this week.
Well, it's a real blessing when they can have a good long life and still have some quality. But I know maybe physically doesn't sound like good quality, but I think mentally is more important.
Yeah, and I'm just glad she's not in a great deal of problems, pain and suffering, which is good. I'm not saying we're going to avoid it, but I hope I do. It's like I heard somebody said, I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens.
That's right, and not getting up a trip for right now.
That's right. All right, Rusty, good to have you in there. That's Rusty. He's in Murfreesboro. What antenna are you using now? It's November 8th, Papa Yankee. Which antenna are you using now?
Trim 1481.
Oh, that's right. And that is outside, right?
Yes, it is. Got it up on the poles that are actually the top railing for the chain link fence.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. I've done that myself. I sometimes think we need to, if you're using a tram radio, which is probably a tram antenna, it's probably made in China. So we need to use a Chinese radio. They don't match up well with the the U.S. made or Japanese ones.
Well, I've got
Yaesu, so I hope it's doing all right.
Oh, no, the Yaesu's doing fine. I was just joking. The Yaesu, I know their mics are made in China, so I'm not sure about any components within the radio, but I'm on a Yaesu right now, so there's no complaints out of me.
Right. Well, you have you a good evening, man. We'll talk to you later. Maybe hopefully catch you in the morning on the Bible then.
Yeah, Lord willing, I'll be there. That's Rusty, November 8th, Papa Yankee in Murfreesboro. Who's up next? Y'all south of 40.
W1FIE.
Hey, you've been absent. What's going on?
Been traveling a lot. Glad to be home.
Oh, good. Not another trip to the islands, was it?
Yep.
Oh, man. See, I don't know whether you're lucky or unlucky because that's a good trip.
Yeah, it's still great weather down there.
Yeah. In fact, I've been there many years ago, but it's more moderate than it is, say, in some other areas just because it's sitting in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think our days traveling down there are almost over. Deal's about to be signed, so we're kind of done down there.
All right. Sounds good. So your hubby is happy the deal's about to be signed, wherever it is?
Yeah, except that he doesn't get to go to Puerto Rico anymore.
I gotcha. Good. Well, I haven't been there in a long time, and I'm presuming it's very nice, in spite of the problems they had, with the hurricane. But I'm not sure where I'd rather go than Puerto Rico's nice because it's the U.S. You don't need a passport. You don't need anything.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. The other islands are better.
I've only been to a couple others, and St. Thomas was very, very nice. Except it was when I was there last, and I'm sure it's worse now. I felt like I was in Manhattan, all the stores.
Yeah, St. Thomas is a great stop to catch a boat to go to St. John.
Yeah, there I have not been there, but no, the islands are very nice, very, very nice. But I kind of wish they weren't so developed.
That's true.
All right, very good. Jen, is your husband there tonight?
No, Puerto Rico.
Oh, I see. He didn't come back. I got you. All righty. All right, well, good to have you in there, Jen. That's Jen, Whiskey 1, Foxtrot, India Echo, and she is here in Mount Juliet over east of Providence. Good signal, Jen. You doing any HF stuff with your new radio?
No, I've been slacking on getting my next license.
See, all that traveling makes that kind of important, more important than studying.
Yeah, I have it on the schedule for next week.
Wait, the test or the studying?
The test.
Okay, you better get busy. And that's for the general, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Well, good luck with that. If you need help, first thing you need to do is just study and then look at the QRZ test, as you know, or whatever else you got there. If you have questions, though, don't hesitate to ask on our website.
Yeah, will do. I'm hoping someone can help me out with learning how to do contesting and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, that's not too bad. If you need help, let me know. Or there's other people here as well who've done it probably more than I have. So good to have you in there, Jen. Again, Jen, Whiskey 1, Foxtrot, India Echo, and she's studying for her general. So hope to hear from her soon about some good success there next week. Who else south of 40?
K4OFO.
You studying for your next test?
I need to. I'm just running all sorts of problems. I'm trying to check out equipment. Every time I turn around, I've done something backwards.
Well, we can do like they do in the military. If you screw up, they take you down a couple of ranks, and then you're gonna have to work your way back up again.
Well, I feel lucky to be where I'm at. So I'm gonna keep working at it. It's just a matter of quit getting in a hurry and do things in the order they need to go in.
Oh, I know the drill. I can't tell you how many times I've decided to rush my way through something, and that wasn't the thing to do.
Well, good. Yeah, I've been able to hear everybody now. The guy that's using the Tram 1481, I think I told you about that once before. Those antennas are made by Browning now, but they're still probably Chinese made, but they're pretty good antennas. That's what I've been using for the last year, and they do a nice job.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. I got the impression, it was an impression. I don't have any facts behind it. And that was that the trams and the other model, I forgot the name of them now, the UVS 300 by OPEK, OPAEK. I got the impression they were made by the same people. but I could be wrong, especially since Browning, unless they're both using the same contract manufacturer.
Yeah, they could be. They're probably still contracted out in China, but Browning's affiliated with them now, and have been for a little while. At least that's what I've found on the internet so far. That they could have already sold it out by now.
Yeah, you never know. Things are so elusive in the business world, aren't they? I mean, can you name how many things since you've been alive that have had the Westinghouse label attached to them?
Oh, I know. It's unreal. And things are just, every time you turn around, things are changing. And a lot of them are changing. We don't know about it yet. We won't find that out before 5 years down the road.
We're going to find out that everything we've ever owned is made in a plant in Shanghai.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. That's a pretty good guesstimate right now.
Yeah, I guess. And it's all available through the Walmart website. All right, Don. That was Don. Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar, and he is just about 6 miles south of me. Technically in Hermitage, just east of 171, which is Mount Juliet Road South. Anybody else south of 40?
W40 yet?
Hey, Eddie, what you up to? You just were sitting on the driveway again?
No, I came in the house, had supper, watched a little TV. So then I thought I'd come down here and do a little exercise and check in on the net.
Well, you're doing fine. Oh, by the way, you heard that repeater was back up again, right?
No, I didn't know it was back up. I didn't know when they get to work on it.
Yeah, you were pretending you didn't know it was back up. I know.
All right. Well, I'm glad they got it going.
Yeah, sounds good. And you're doing fine with a great signal. And you're hearing everybody, I take it, if you caught them all.
Yeah, so far I've heard everybody.
Yeah, well, it helps to have a tower and a nice antenna elevation, All right, good enough. That was Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray. He is over east of Mount Juliet, about 5 miles, just south of 40, and a great elevation where he is. Most people can probably hear him like me, or maybe better in some cases. Who else south of 40? Anybody else? Did we run out, hit the bottom of the well? Well, very good. We'll go over to talk to James over east of Mount Juliet Road. East of Mount Juliet Road, please come now.
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo.
Hey, how you doing there, Richard?
I can't complain. I'm hearing more folks than I usually hear, and I don't know what to attribute that to, but maybe the JFO decided to develop a little bit of set of ears, but I don't know that. But I hope everybody had a good day. Thank you for what you do. And we've had a pretty decent day up here. Thank you. And I'll talk to you when I can. KI4S, I'll be back to net.
So you're doing pretty good. You're doing about S5, S6 into my station, so you're doing real fine with a good audio.
Well, I've got 5 bars on you up here as well.
I take it you're home.
I am.
Okay, just want to make sure. When you said up, I mean, I guess it technically is up. I just think you as east though rather than up.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hearing some folks I don't usually hear is what kind of got me.
Well, I don't know. I know that in as far as flying goes, colder air is more dense, kind of like me, and so it provides more lift for planes. Well, I don't know if colder, denser air is better for propagation or not.
I'm not sure either. I have discovered something though. I've got several frequencies programmed in this radio, and I've been scanning on the other side, it's a bill band. And I'm hearing a lot more things than I dreamed I would. And a lot of it has to do with local stuff, of course. But I'm hearing repeaters that I never thought I'd hear. UHF repeaters, in fact. But I'm looking forward to putting the antenna up and getting it running and going and see what difference it makes. I'm satisfied it's going to make a tremendous difference. But I'll turn it back over to you, and thank you very much for what you do.
Yeah, very good, Richard. Sound good though, and I'm anxious to hear the results when you do get that new antenna up. That was Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and that's Richard over in Lebanon. Who else over east of Mount Juliet? Please come in. Anybody else east? Please come in.
Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's just that, well, here it's 44 outside. I was at the store earlier, and it actually feels, without a wind, it feels pretty nice outside.
That's the content for the storm.
Is it supposed to get cold? I really haven't looked today about what's in the future. Is it supposed to get colder and snow? I heard the snow thing. Is it supposed to go below 32? I take it.
Yeah, I believe on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll make my wife go out and do the chores instead of me. Well, very good for two. We're doing pretty good for 2 New York/Florida transplants.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Actually, I don't. Well, we've talked about it before. I really don't miss Florida. Tennessee's so nice. I mean, we forget about Florida. All right, Jeff. Good to have you in there. That was Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie. He's over in Lebanon as well. Good signal. And who else we got south of 40? Excuse me, east of Mount Juliet Road. My mistake. Come back to each on the late check-ins. Okay, who's north of Mount Juliet, north of Lebanon Road?
Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec.
Hey, Brent, what's up with you, man? You sound good.
Yeah, I've been working on radios all week. Got my TYT programmed. Turns out you don't use the computer on that one because it's too hard to do. You just do it by hand.
The TYT, the 2-meter, is it a dual band analog radio?
Yeah, it's a 2-meter. It's the weatherproof one. It's just a little mini radio. I got this set up where I can just push it in on my computer table and it just disappears right under the desk.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I know I've got a TYT, but it's that DMR handheld, and trying to input the data on DMR, I think you need a master's degree.
Yeah, I lucked out last weekend when I was working and happened to find a video to show me how to program this thing. Some guy got one, and he said the same thing. He pulled the cable out and he pulled the program out. He said, just take these things and throw them away and do it by hand.
That's good. Well, no, there's nothing wrong with learning how to do it by hand. Believe me, that's been one of my complaints from early days. Is that about a lot of hams get a radio and somebody else either let somebody else program their radio, and then they can't change from having it going from the memories into simplex, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, every radio's got its own little quirks.
Oh, to say the least. It's a stretch on my memory because I have Yaesu, Kenwood, TYT, Bofang, and Alinko. Other than that, I got nothing.
Well, this next week, so I get some time, I'm going to start working on my 817 and try to program that. I went ahead and got RT Systems programming, but even still, that radio in general is a QRP rig and it's hard to use. Just to use it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that because I've never seen one. I have my hands on one. I'm guessing that it's got the same features other than being QRP as the 857D.
Yep, exactly the same things. It even has 60 meters.
Yeah, well, if you have any questions about that, let me know because I'm pretty familiar with the 857.
All righty, well, I'll probably be hollering then.
Okay, I might be listening. I might not be. All right, Brent. Glad to have you in there. That's Brent, Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, Quebec, and he's up on the north of Lebanon Road and northwest part of Wilson County. Who else we got north of Wilson? North of Mount Juliet.
K4HW, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec.
Hey, hold on, Mr. Castellian Springs Cruise Master. I think I had who did I have in there? Colt is in there.
Yeah, that's me, KN4 BTW.
And it is Kilo November, right? Did I hear that right?
Yes, Kilo
Kilo November 4, Bravo Tango Whiskey.
Yeah, no, you just you the first time or the second time you said it actually was fast, and I said, I don't think it's an M. I think it's an N. Yeah, very good. How you doing, Colt? You home?
Yep, I'm at home putting out 80 watts out of the ground plane. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, you're pegging my meter, but that's going to be too tough from, up there on Nonaville, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yep, a quarter mile up from 70.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. School going well for you?
Well, so far, but we're only about a little over a week into the semester, so it could still be anyone's game.
Well, I learned too late that, what you get out of school is exactly what you put into it. It was like Red Fox said many moons ago. He said, there's only one thing that kept him out of college, and that was high school.
Well, I'm putting as much as I can into it, so I hope that's the truth.
Yeah, it really is. I had way too many distractions, and I was having a good time, and I paid the price. So believe me. But yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. Sounds great. Like I said, you're pegging the meter here.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, you're doing fine. That's Colts, Kilo November 4, Bravo Tango Whiskey, up off of Nonaville Road, north of Lebanon Road. Who else we got north of, where am I? Mount Juliet.
KG4. SFF.
You have to give that call in segments, do you there, Charles?
Called not doubling.
No, I know. You're doing fine. So how you doing, Charles?
Tired, going to follow up with the doctor tomorrow. Weird thing happened to me today. I'm going crazy. I'm already crazy. But I don't know. I guess it's anxiety or whatever. My mind just goes blank. And it's like I can't think about anything else. I guess that's anxiety. But I don't know. It's weird. But we'll go tomorrow back to the doctor and figure some things out.
Very good. I'm glad you're working towards that end. That's what's interesting, and as you well know, the saying is old and stupid, but it's true. It's when you get your health, you got everything, and if you can work your way through these problems, you'll be doing great.
On the positive now, I got another job back. I used to drive for a guy, so I just got to make sure everything's good to go before I get back on the road next week, hopefully, around this snow.
Ah, very good. Well, do your best. Give it the best shot you got, and everything should be fine. Charles, appreciate you being there, and I hope it goes well for you tomorrow and as well as with the new job. Anyway, that was Charles, Kilo Golf 4, Sierra Foxtrot. He's in Cottontown. Decent signal tonight. Who else north of Mount Juliet?
W4 DBV.
Oh, you stayed up late again, Brian.
I did. I was able to hear Colt and a few others. Conditions seem to be a little better this evening for some reason. I noticed your signal is up and down instead of straight F7 on my real cheap meter. But anyway, glad to be here. Good evening to you and everybody on the net. And I guess I will tuck in. So won't stick around. 73 K4PEW W4DBV.
Yeah, very good, Brian. That's Brian, Whiskey 4 Delta Bravo Victor. He's also got a compromised indoor antenna, but it does a good job. At least getting to me, but he's also hearing just a few other stations out there. And he's also northwest Wilson County, up north of Lebanon Road. Who else? Was there double in there? Was there another station? I thought I heard some interference in there where Brian was talking. Anybody else north of Mount Juliet? I think I did hear a double, but I did hear Frank's call in there. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, good evening, Paul. Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to survive Colt. I thought he was going to blow my front end.
Yeah, we need to have him crank back the wattage.
Well, he's like practically across the street, kind of.
Yeah, well, I think he said he was doing 80 watts, didn't he?
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh boy, somebody stronger than Paul. Oh yeah, okay, he's right.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. He can be net control next week.
Oh yeah. No, it's I'm hearing more people today too. The one that stood out to me was Richard. He came in like I was getting F7 on him.
Yeah, that's good. He'll be happy to hear that. He probably boosted up his J pole another few inches.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm on the indoor still, but like I hope, once the weather clears up, I just gotta figure out how to get it up there. But we're gonna do it.
Yeah, well, you're pegging the meter here, so I wouldn't worry too much. But as far as if you, that's one of the things that I mean, between certain paths and certain, like I said, between you and me with that roll up, it's going to be tough to hear anybody south of 40 for you unless they got a really killer signal.
Very rare, once in a while. Once in a while, I hear north pretty good. I can hear, I think was it. I keep forgetting if it's Steve or Scott up in Kentucky. I can hear him more often than I hear the people in the south.
Oh yeah. Well, I bet. It's again with that roll up. They're nice. They're nice emergency antennas. I still have a couple, so no big thing. But once you get let's put it this way: if you put up a really nice antenna outside at your place, we're going to have to tell Colt he's going to have to run 5 watts.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, very good, Frank. That's Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo, Kilo, Kilo. He is in also the northwest part of Wilson County. Great signal on a roll-up antenna. At least great to me. Who else south or north of Mount Juliet?
WB0NOO.
Hello, Mark. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Paul. Been hearing everybody. Barely conditions are fairly good tonight. And everybody sounds good, especially all these people up on the north side. They're begging me over here.
Oh, I'm sure. I actually have never researched that. Maybe you have. Do you think cold weather makes any difference?
I don't think so. I think the leaves off the trees might make a little bit of difference, but as far as I know, propagation isn't really affected much by temperature. Not so, terrestrial anyway.
Yeah, unless there's like an inversion or something, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some strange 2-meter ducting over the years where I've talked 400 or 500 miles, but I've seen it on commercial systems too. I even had a taxi cab one time that called me at home and said, "Hey, we're getting calls from people we don't know where they are, cabs," and they were here in one taxi service that was about 300 miles away and trying to find addresses that didn't exist.
Oh, that's pretty funny. But I can imagine that happening because even the taxi services, what is their, do you know what their limitation on power is on their machines? Not on the taxis, but on their repeaters.
Well, back in those days, it was 100 watts.
Yeah, well, 100 watts will go a long ways.
Yeah, 100 watts, 100 feet, 100 miles.
I'm telling you. And with ducting, obviously, it was longer than that.
Yep, but that's pretty rare. It did happen, so. But anyway, you're sounding good. Everybody's sounding good tonight. I've been sitting here playing with FT8, and I can't make it work. So I'm going to need help. I need to pick out an Elmer for an old guy.
I'm trying to remember there's somebody. I'll put it if you don't mind sending out a note anyway. If anybody's listening, Mark, KB0 November Oscar needs some help with FT8, either on the radio or over the phone. And last but not least, maybe in person. But I'm not going to be any help on FT8. But if anybody has any information on that, is your email good on QRZ?
Yeah, it's good. It's WB0NOO, though, Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar. And I've got it receiving, and I've got all my information put in, and I'm running the software, and it's communicating with my radio, and it's all sitting here looking like it's working, and I don't know what to do next. So I guess that's the problem.
So you're saying it's not transmitting? Is that the deal?
Apparently so. I'm not so sure I know what to expect when I do transmit.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I remember having that same problem when I was doing digital a few years ago. And I thought I was transmitting, but all I was seeing was the transmitting that I thought, that I could see it, but I didn't realize it wasn't getting out. I should have been looking at my meter to see if the radio was actually transmitting.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm at. I can see it in the software. It appears to be transmitting, but the radio never keys. Yet the radio is communicating over the USB cable with the software. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, have a good evening. Good net. Talk to you later. WB0NO.
Yeah, very good, Mark. Good to have you in there. Again, he needs some help with FT8, which I can't help him with that, but you can reach Mark at WB0NOO on QRZ, which is good. Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar Oscar. Who else? North of Mount Juliet, please come down.
Paul Dennis was in there.
Oh, yes, Dennis, Castellian Springs. Go ahead.
Yeah, what am I, chopped liver?
I don't know. After you go out on a cruise for a week, man, you're like the, Duke of Earl over there.
Well, my wife and I just, Deborah and I, we just watched a 2-hour special on Roosevelt he explored a river in Brazil for 3 months, and he almost died. It was pretty cool. That's why I got out here late. Pretty cool. But yeah, everybody sounds great tonight. But right now, all I'm hearing is everybody north of Mount Juliet.
Well, you get that new antenna up instead of going on cruises, and you'll hear everybody.
I was working on it today. I took down my J-pole. I propped up my J-pole next to my studio, and I'm talking on it now. Hey, by the way, this is pretty funny. I talked on HF. I talked to a guy. His call sign, you get ready for it, was Whiskey 4, Uniform Charlie Kilo.
Oh, yeah. A nice call.
That's what they gave him, and that's what he kept.
Well, I've got this coffee cup right here somewhere. I think you've seen it, or at least seen it on the air. It's I don't have it right in front of me, but it's a one that was a random call from early part of the 40s or the early 50s. I forget which, and it was W2SEX.
Anyway, so how many check-ins so far tonight? I got, like I said, I just got out here.
You were number 17.
All right, well, good evening to everybody and Happy New Year. Is this my first net since back? I think so. Anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. And back to net. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, very good. Dennis just got back from I think it was a 7-day cruise where he was part of the entertainment package, and he was enjoying himself. He said probably got a nice tan and read a couple of books and had a good time. You did take your wife with you on that trip, didn't you?
Yeah, she goes every year. They let her go for free. And I played more this year than ever. I played 5 shows. Usually I play once or twice, but it's easy. I mean, it's really fun. The best music, man. It's the best music you ever heard. In fact, if anybody wants to check out a really cool band that I heard for the first time, they're called the California Honey Drops. And I think their website is just CA for California and then honeydrops.com. Check it out. They're really amazing. They're Southern, Cajun, Dixieland, R&B, and the singer is amazing.
Cool. Yeah, like we've discussed, man, there are an awful lot of talented people in Nashville, but there's an awful lot of talented people all over the country.
Roger. All right, back to that. WNWQ will be listening.
Yep, thanks for that. That was Dennis, Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec, and he's in Castellian Springs. Great signal. Great to have you back. Who else north of Mount Juliet? Moving over to the west of Mount Juliet Road. Please come in.
KM4YRF.
All right, you're going to tell me you heard everybody, right? Michael?
No, I'm not. Actually, there was 2 people I couldn't hear. I did not hear Jeff, and I did not hear Scott. But I've heard everybody else booming in.
Uh-huh. You did not hear. Well, Jeff's over in Lebanon, and he's a little bit compromised there, but so I'm not too surprised about that one. But you heard Richard okay?
Yeah, heard Richard great.
Okay, great. Who was the other one you said?
Scott. Scott in Smyrna.
Okay. Well, that's that attic antenna, the attic J-pole.
Yeah, and he was only doing 5 watts too.
Yeah. I think we ought to just abbreviate it. Say it's an AJP, attic J-pole.
I love it.
All right. Very good, Michael. Yeah, I heard you talking earlier about arthritis, man. Believe me, like Bill Clinton, I feel your pain.
Man, it's awful. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's awful for me. It's like you said, if you're not moving, if you're just sitting still, like if I'm sitting on the sofa, man, my hip joints and my knee joints will just start aching. I ain't doing nothing. But if I get up and move around, they're okay.
Yeah. Of course, I stay moving all day, every day. But boy, it doesn't take much sitting around to get to me.
I think we both need an oil change.
Well, I need somebody to jack me up and drive a new body under me.
Yeah, that's true. As long as they don't use a noose doing it.
Yeah, that would be a plus.
All right, very good. That was Michael, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, and he is up there in Bellshire. I had to get the term straight in my brain there. Bellshire. Michael, good signal. Anxious to have. Well, you got the radio from your other radio, so you're doing fine. But you're not. It doesn't restrict you on the hearing any of the Kenwood, right?
No, Kenwood's got great ears. I'm really pleased that I took it out of the car and brought it inside.
All right. It's probably happy too to be out of that cold weather. All right. Very good, Michael. Who else we have north of Mount Juliet?
Katie 4OEN. Hello, Paul and the gang. Everybody's sounding good out there tonight. Copying everybody except for 2 people. So I hope everybody's doing well and getting through the week.
Oh yeah, we're doing fine. I understand you're facing some knee stuff going on. It doesn't sound too pleasant.
I went through a knee replacement last July, and so now that I've been there before, I know what to expect, and I'm not anticipating that at all. Yeah, it's the first 2 or 3 days after the replacement are really tough. Once you get past those couple days and get to moving around a little bit, it gets better. But it's a hard surgery.
Oh yeah, I've not been through it. Dennis, who was up just a couple of people ago, W9BOQ, he had just went through. Well, I think it was in December. He had hip surgery, hip replacement, which is obviously similar in this. He had. I mean, he was saying about the issues he had afterwards. It's not just a simple fix and get back running on the road.
Exactly. Yeah, it takes time, and of course, as always, physical therapy is the key to total recovery. I was really impressed that my doctor is one of the first doctors here, at least in Nashville, I know of, that uses a technique where they do a CAT scan of the knee, then they send it off, and there's something, he uploads it into their software, and they manipulate it, and they design the knee replacement actually around my bones, my ligaments, tendons, everything, so that the replacement matches my knee rather than like pulling off the shelf and here's Mary S. knee replacement. But they print it out on a 3D printer and send it back to the doctor with all the hardware and all that good stuff. So that was interesting. At least I learned a lot.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know they were doing it that way, but that is awesome. That they can customize it like that. Yeah. Now, if they could only ship me off and just throw me through the computer painlessly, that'd be better.
That's all right. Well, good to hear you, Paul, and you always do a good job leading all of us in the net, and we always enjoy it. So I'm going to sign here and hand the mic over to Marty. Everybody have a good evening. Katie Forley and Claire.
Yeah, very good. Well, I'm looking for Marty next.
BD4BQK. And then just hearing everybody out, and everything's fine. And I guess that's about all. There's nothing here. Okay, so I'll just give you the mic again.
All right, very good. When did you get your what year did you get your license?
I think it's 91.
Okay, well, yeah, it's because you figured that's what almost 28 years ago. I was just wondering. I didn't have my license in. I just wondered when the D, the KD came up randomly, and it's just quite obviously 28 years ago. It's quite a long time.
Well, I'll look it up sometime and we'll make sure.
Oh, no big deal. I just was curious when it was. All right, very good. I know that, but I do know that other hams who've talked to you early on when the Simplex was big on another frequency, and they knew you from years ago. So good to have you in there, Marty, and it's good to have Mary in there as well. That's Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November Mary and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo Marty, both in Belshire. Of course, they're both in Belshire. They're married and they live in the same house. So good to have you guys there. Who else? What was I on? West, north, west of Mount Juliet Road.
W4AWE.
Thanks for your patience, John.
Of course. No patience required over here.
Yeah, no, it just takes a while. It's already almost 10 minutes to 9. So you doing all right over there, are you?
Yeah, doing good. Had a chance last couple of days to take a short break and play on HF just a little bit, and that's always fun.
I didn't want to get when we were conversing back and forth on email about that grounding system you're installing. I was remembering, and I didn't want to get into it because I remember wiring up big swimming pools and the requirements for those, which was a big pain.
Yeah, I mean the electrical code for swimming pools is big. Yeah, I mean it's even more extensive than what I'm doing. Yeah, I've got an in-ground pool, and I remembered watching the electrician. It's totally surrounded with pretty heavy gauge wire.
Yep, and lots of connection to the rebar and ground. You name it, it's all got to be tied together.
Yeah, and big GFIs back to the sub panel and everything.
Yeah, sometimes I even remember how awful, well, not awful. I thought if I build a pool, I'm not going to put lights in it because it even makes it more of a problem.
Yeah, it's funny. It's sort of whether you do an underwater light or not. Those are so manageable with their own GFI circuit, and I finally replaced it with an LED so it doesn't pull any power. But whether you have a light or not, you've still got to do this extensive grounding and tie everything. Actually, would probably make a great ground plane.
Absolutely. Yeah, as I remember though too. Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've done that. But it also involved anything within a certain distance from the pool that was metallic had to be a common bond.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Seems like it was something like 8 feet.
Yeah, they don't want anybody touching two different potentials.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, lay on the edge of the pool and see how far you can reach.
Yeah, but anyway. I don't hear many problems with that afterwards, so I guess the electricians are still doing a pretty good job. I mean, I lived in Florida. There must be 7 jillion pools in Florida.
Yeah, I think one advantage of it is, if the concrete and rebar goes in right, concrete's pretty good about keeping the stuff from migrating and rusting.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. My ex-wife called, and it's my first ex-wife, and oh my gosh, I saw her once in the last 35 years maybe, but she wrote me a note to say that the oak tree in the backyard got blown over in a storm, and when a root came up, it tore the in-ground pool in half.
Oh man, that's an example of an expensive root ball.
Well, yeah, but the insurance paid it all, and then she put in everything new and had a good old time. But again, I don't own it or care about it, so I just thought it was interesting how the tree, by falling over in the opposite direction, tore up the pool.
Yeah, it's really nice how folks like to just call you up and share dismal information.
Oh, I think she was happy she was getting a brand new pool. That thing had been in there for 30-something years. From about 76 to a couple years ago, whatever that is, 25. Yeah, almost 35 years.
Yeah, I had a friend just outside the Miami area a few years ago who had just done small backyard pool, spent a lot of money on it, and within 6 months, a hurricane laid 3 palm trees right across it and basically sort of wiped a lot of it out.
Yeah. I'm not sure pools are worth it. I guess they are. I don't know. I don't know if I'd have another one or not. They're just a lot of money and a lot of work.
It sort of depends. If you can do it all yourself, then it works out okay. But if you leave it and let it get out of control, then I can't understand how some people get to the point where they just fill it in.
No. Matter of fact, what you do is you go to Google Earth and go to some places in Florida in some of those communities where housing crisis took a big hit, and you can see all the green pools.
Oh yeah, exactly where they were.
All right, John, good to have you in there. That's Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo. He's over in Bellevue, southwest of Nashville. Great signal. Who else we got west of Nashville, west of Mount Juliet? Anybody else west of Mount Juliet? Well, then we shall take late check-ins. Any place, anywhere, anyhow. Please come down.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead. Comment first.
76 to 2019 is more like 40 plus years.
Yeah, why'd you have to bring that up, man? It sounds like I'm a lot older now.
Well, I am, because that was my graduation year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll be 60. I'll be 70 this year, so it is quite a few years ago, and that's 2 wives ago. So it's hard to keep track, man. You got to have a program.
The other thing was Star Trek has that transporter, and people had come in messed up, and they just send it back through, and he come out perfect like it was out of the academy or something.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know what to do with myself then. I just have a chance to screw up my body again for another 40 years, Very good. Appreciate the input. Was there another station in there late check-in?
B4 SFN.
Very good. That's Tom over there in Martha. And Tom, I guess I need to say that you do have that net tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the regular frequency on the now up repeater, the 147. I'll get it straight. 105. That's what it is. And it's plus offset and a 156.7 at 8 p.m. You're doing the net tomorrow, Tom?
I don't know, but doesn't matter. Be welcome to check in, whether it's me or somebody entertaining.
I got you. Well, good to have you in there, Tom. You doing all right tonight?
Yeah, I did. I had you took second billing to a Nova program that came on, but I made it anyway.
Is that Nova? Man, see, it's funny. I've got an indoor here. I complain about people with their J poles in the attic. I've got an indoor digital antenna for the TV, and we've been happy with that. But every time I think about it, I've got to get the antenna outside to get those, because I really like some of those Nova programs, and PBS has some great programs.
Yes, they do. I've still got an antenna in my attic that I had BC before cable.
Well, we killed the cable. I do stream into my TV. It's not a smart TV. It's a dumb TV. It's an old 65-inch projection TV. Very nice. But we're not replacing it until it blows up, burns down, or just falls down. Because it's still, and then it's got the adapter for the DVD and the Blu-ray, and like I said, for the streaming from the internet. But no local channels besides let's put it this way. I'm missing the PBS channels. For whatever reason, they don't broadcast a very good signal.
That's a stinker. Yeah, there's a lot of good programs come on there. There was a few years when I didn't watch it, and I was been thinking, jeepers, what could I have learned in those years?
No, they have some great ones. I remember some great ones over the years that I've just thoroughly enjoyed and remembered because they were very well researched programs. So some of the other stuff on PBS is, I don't exactly watch Sesame Street, but you know what I'm saying. I can't watch everything they have.
Yeah, but they have got some good educational programs on there that come along. You kind of got to filter them out because there's some stuff on there, like our channels, and not everything appeals to me.
Oh, absolutely. All right, that's Tom. Kilo Bravo 4, Sierra Foxtrot November over in Martha, Tennessee. Sometimes runs the net on the 105 machine over there. And another reminder for tomorrow night, check in and hear the good things going on over there. Anybody else? Late check-ins, please come now.
Kilo Delta 4, Zulu Golf Yankee.
Boy, oh boy, you waited a long time, or you just got in a few minutes ago?
Oh, I've been on the backside here. That's more chores to do. I've been listening. I just didn't want to lose out altogether. This is KD4 ZGY.
Yeah, very good, Ed. You sound good tonight. Yeah, it was good to see you. We were talking about that again. It was good to have you come up that distance. And I told one of the fellows, I said, man, that's great. He came up from where he was down there near Shelbyville. And he goes, I don't think I'm going to expect him every week, every month.
Well, I enjoyed it. I did, and we'll definitely make some more of them there. One thing I'd like to share with them, I guess, been watching the news today. We've had a little excitement down here. We've had an earthquake of 3.0 down here in Shelbyville.
No kidding. Did you feel it?
No, I didn't feel it. I slept right through it.
Okay, yeah. I was in an earthquake once too. We were in the Philippines, and I woke up in the morning in Reveille, and they said, "Hey, we had an earthquake last night." I go, "Well, far be. How would I know? I'm living on a ship. What? I can't tell." It wasn't a big one. It was like you said it. You had a 3. For those that weren't listening, who couldn't hear him, that's Ed in Shelbyville, and he had an earthquake last night, a 3.0, but didn't bust nothing. I don't imagine.
Now it was. I live on the other side of the river, and that might have something to do with it there too. But it was back from Shelbyville towards the War Trace area. But anyway, all I ever heard just saying people just swore it was a rumble or a shaking, and that the dogs got excited and whatnot. But other than that, there, I'll let you. I did want to say Miss Joanne said hello, KF4 DMQ for the group. So good evening to you, and I'll turn it back to you, KD4 ZGY.
Yeah, very good. What was Joanne's call?
KF4 DMQ.
Well, I can't think of the last time I saw a KF. That's great. I mean, it's funny how you recall a lot of calls, and I don't remember the KFs even coming up before.
Well, she's had it for some time now. I think there's some KMs now, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're up to KN, Kilo November.
Well, but she doesn't talk a whole lot. Every once in a while, she'll get excited. If she needs someone she needs to check with, she'll come in here and use it. But it's just if she uses it. Cell phones came out and kind of made a lot of difference on people on the YLs using the radio.
Yeah, they need to add one feature to the cell phones, and that's just you push a button and it randomly calls anywhere on the earth.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate it, Paul. I'm gonna let you have it back up. KD4 is ZGY.
Yeah, very good. That was Ed in Shelbyville, and it's Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Great signal as always, and we were glad to have him. He came it took like an hour and a quarter to get up here from that area. He's actually in Shake Rag. They're just near Shelbyville, but again, coming all the way up for the breakfast was a real treat, and it was good to meet him. All right, anybody else? He was with his wife as well, so we had a good time. Anybody else late checking?
KN4 CCQ.
Hey, how you doing? You came in late. What was up with that?
Better late than never, Paul. That's what they tell me. Sounding good over here tonight.
Yeah, have you been in long, or were you able to hear many stations? You can hear Ed over in Shelbyville, right?
Yes, I can hear Ed fine, no problem. But I hadn't been here, kind of been in and out, so I didn't get to catch much of the net tonight. But normally I can hear most of the stations out there.
Well, very good. Glad to hear it. Glad to have you in there, even if it was late. But that's not never a really late. It's just we're catching the ones that weren't around the first time around.
Copy that. Good evening to you, Paul. Sounding good as always. 73, sir. KN4 CCQ.
Yeah, very good, Preston. That was Preston, Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec, and he is in. I'll say it again. He's in. Possum Trot. No, not Possum Trot. Possum Town. That's what I was getting mixed up with the other one. Possum Town down south. Who else we got? Good to have you in there, Preston. Anybody else late checking?
I'll give you a correction. That was Possum Trot. You had it right the first time. Appreciate it.
Oh man, See how I got that twisted in my head? Man, oh man, I'm gonna have to make up one of them flashcard systems.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it anyway. You do an excellent job there, sir.
I appreciate it. It's the only thing that keeps me thinking about stuff. I have to put it together in my brain, who's who and where they are, and I sometimes get them wrong, of course. But yeah, I appreciate the comments. So, anybody else late check-ins, please come in. All righty. Well, then we'll go into the lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners, and SDR donglers. All right. I know we're missing a couple of key people, but they must be out and working or busy with the family or got something going on. But that's a good net with 25. Appreciate everybody who checked in. Like I said, we're not so much concerned about the numbers. The midweek one is usually lower. We had, I believe, 30. Well, I know we did. We had 31 this past Saturday, which was our second or third foray into the 30s, which is phenomenal to me. So appreciate all the check-ins, appreciate all the comments, and hope to hear you on the next net. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey signing off. 73s, everybody.